From the depths of the atom to the farthest reaches of the cosmos, humanity has achieved the impossible. We've harnessed fire, crossed oceans, split the atom, walked on the moon, and peered billions of years into the past to witness the birth of galaxies. There seems to be almost nothing we can't do. No challenge too great, no mystery too profound. And yet, from the dawn of consciousness, one enemy has remained undefeated: death. Every civilization has faced it. Every empire has feared it. Every generation has dreamed of escaping it. For thousands of years, humanity has fought a war against death itself. Not with armies, not with weapons, but with myths, medicines, experiments, and hope. This is the story of humanity's 5,000-year war against death. Long before science, people didn't try to defeat death, they tried to survive it. To the ancient Egyptians, death wasn't an ending, it was a journey. They believed the soul would continue into the afterlife, where it would be judged by the gods. But there was one problem: the soul needed a body. If the body decayed, the journey could fail. So the Egyptians developed one of history's most elaborate preservation systems. Organs were removed. Bodies were dried with natron salt. Layers of linen were carefully wrapped around every limb. Entire tombs were filled with food, tools, treasures, and sacred texts. Everything the deceased might need in eternity. For the Egyptians, immortality wasn't about living forever on Earth. It was about ensuring life continued beyond it. Thousands of kilometers away, another civilization wrestled with the same fear. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of humanity's oldest surviving stories, tells the tale of a king shattered by the death of his closest friend. For the first time, Gilgamesh realizes that he too will someday die. Terrified by this revelation, he abandons his kingdom and begins a desperate search for eternal life. After countless trials, he discovers a magical plant said to restore youth. At last, immortality seems within reach. But before he can use it, a serpent steals the plant and disappears. Gilgamesh returns home empty-handed. The lesson is simple: even kings cannot escape death. The ancient Greeks took a different approach. If the body could not live forever, perhaps a person's name could. Warriors sought glory. Poets sought timeless words. Philosophers sought ideas that would outlive them. They called it kleos, eternal fame. For much of human history, immortality wasn't about extending life, it was about being remembered. But eventually, humanity began asking a different question. What if death wasn't inevitable? What if it could be cured? Few people embodied this obsession more than Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. He unified a vast empire, built monumental projects, commanded enormous armies. Yet despite his power, he feared death more than anything else. He sent expeditions across the seas, searching for legendary lands said to hold the secret of eternal life. He employed alchemists and mystics. He consumed special elixirs believed to grant immortality. Many contained mercury. Today we know mercury is highly toxic. The very substances he believed would save his life may have helped end it. Ironically, one of history's greatest quests for immortality may have brought death even closer. Across Europe and the Middle East, alchemists pursued a similar dream. They searched for the philosopher's stone, a legendary substance said to transform metal into gold and grant eternal life. For centuries, they mixed chemicals, studied minerals, and chased impossible formulas. Most failed. None discovered immortality. But something unexpected happened. Their experiments laid foundations for modern chemistry. The search for eternal life produced knowledge. Humanity hadn't defeated death, but it had learned from the attempt. Then came science. For the first time, people began studying life itself, not through myths, not through magic, but through observation and experimentation. Scientists dissected bodies, mapped organs, studied blood, and asked a revolutionary question. If the human body is a machine, can it be repaired? In the late 1700s, experiments with electricity shocked the world. Scientists discovered that electrical currents could make dead muscles twitch. Arms moved, legs kicked, fingers curled. For a brief moment, it seemed possible that life itself might be restarted. These experiments inspired stories like Frankenstein, but reality was less dramatic. Movement wasn't life. A twitch wasn't consciousness. The boundary between life and death proved far more complicated than anyone imagined. Yet science kept advancing. Vaccines reduced deadly diseases. Anesthesia made surgery possible. Germ theory revealed invisible organisms responsible for illness. Then came antibiotics. Diseases that once wiped out entire populations could suddenly be treated. For the first time in history, humanity wasn't simply accepting death. It was pushing it back. Life expectancy began to rise. Millions of lives were saved. Death remained undefeated. But for the first time in history, it was losing ground. And today, the war has entered a completely new phase. For thousands of years, immortality belonged to myths and legends. Now it is being discussed in laboratories. Some people place their hopes in cryonics, preserving their bodies in liquid nitrogen in the hope that future technology might one day revive them. Others believe the answer lies in the mind. If every memory, thought, and personality trait could be copied into a computer, could a digital version of you live forever? And if it could, would it still be you? Meanwhile, scientists are exploring gene editing, stem cells, artificial organs, and treatments designed to slow aging itself. For the first time, humanity possesses tools that previous civilizations would have considered magical. Yet, despite all our progress, the same question remains. Can death actually be defeated? Or are we simply finding new ways to postpone it? Because immortality may create challenges no civilization has ever faced. A world without death would transform society, family, and even our understanding of purpose itself. Perhaps that is why the question of immortality has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. It isn't just a scientific question. It's a philosophical one. After thousands of years, humanity still hasn't conquered death. The Egyptians failed, the emperors failed, the alchemists failed, and modern science has not yet succeeded. Yet, every attempt changed the world. The search for immortality gave us discoveries: medicine, chemistry, biology, and a deeper understanding of life itself. Every generation believed it stood on the edge of defeating death. Every generation was wrong. But for the first time in history, the dream feels less like mythology and more like a possibility. Whether humanity eventually conquers death remains unknown. But perhaps the greatest mystery isn't whether death can be defeated. It's what happens if it is.